on that one. I can't even begin to guess anymore with how many different seeds, how many different items we've seen throughout these races here. But let's find out. We got some a whole bunch of custom sprites here going on. And here we go. ATB now, we're all starting off at Link's house, finds 10 bombs. Plasma Cap starting off over at the Sanctuary, but oddly enough, did not check the chest.
Yeah, that's, okay. We'll see what, it was a good check, map only, so.
Yeah, he's going straight for the Houlihan room, it looks like. Meanwhile, Pryor's going to go ahead and make the tree, heading straight to Uncle.
Well, and Pryor might decide to go ahead and do the full escape portion. Even though 10 bombs, you can certainly get through with 10 bombs there.
Oh, but he finds literacy. Ho-ho! Already we're off to a fun start.
And we're going to get our first tree pull here, it looks like. Just some hearts.
Uncle has silvers!
What?
Uncle is loaded. The Book of Medora and silvers from Uncle. What a find. Meanwhile, JTB now heading into the Lumberjack Cave. What does he find? I think that was an arrow pack. I couldn't tell.
That wasn't much of anything worthwhile, I don't necessarily think.
No, but Pryor now with the big advantage having those silvers very early on.
What's that crab drop?
Ooh, 3 bombs, always good thing. Another pack of bombs. Ooh, we got Beat Torp on Sinhee's side, and looks like JTB gonna be picking that shortly. Plasma now about to find some good money. Heading to Uncle. And yeah, it was a 10 arrow upgrade there in the Lumberjack. I was able to see that on Pryor's side. Now, looks like Sinhee's gonna be our first one to head into Kakariko Village. So we're gonna find out what wealth awaits us inside there.
All right, early Kakariko check with everything that we've already found. We got bottles, silvers, a book. Those who picked up the bottle and came from Kakariko from the north will be able to route in Sick Kid at the same time. Be a little bit more efficient than having to route that back in later.
Absolutely, that will be helpful. Sinhee now got to check out. Let's see, we got Blind's Hut. We got 50 rupees, piece of heart, triple bombs, and just a heart container. So not much in Blind's Hut, unfortunately, but we still have the well. We still have the rest of Kakariko to check out, so we might still find something. Another heart container in the back. Now the secret. Now the items are starting to. We're going to start seeing some items pretty soon. I feel. I mean, with what we've already found so far, come on, the big ones are coming.
Dropped Base has an interesting question. How do you do anything if you start with nothing? It's like, well, there's an interesting little discussion about that. That's actually an item area location called Sphere Zero. When you have nothing and you can get to nothing, where are the treasure chests that you can open up to get something to go to? And Randomizer does guarantee you'll be able to get something, some sort of breadcrumb to lead you along the way. So, great question there, Dropped Base, and that's Rando in a nutshell right there.
Indeed, and speaking of Rando, Sinhee and JTB have found Ice Rod in the well. Don't know if that's going to be a big player now, but we shall see. And we got Fighter Sword from the Bottle Vendor.
It's a nice pickup to start early. Makes it a little bit more comfortable going down to the South Hyrule area around Lake Hylia. A little bit more comfortable fighting anything.
Indeed, indeed. Not bad for $100 there. And we find Hammer in the Chicken Shack. Oh, now we're starting to see some items.
Never mind. We have a better weapon now.
At least for now. All right, Sinhee now heading over, and he's going to turn in that bottle to Sick Kid. Let's see what he drops off. Just big 20.
See, there is proof. Money makes you sick, ladies and gentlemen, so send some of it over here to Speed Gaming Wave. We'll make you better.
Indeed. Speaking of money, we got big 20 there from the back of the tavern. Now we're going to start making our way south towards the race game, the library, and eventually the South Shore.
It'll be interesting. Some players have decided to start just going right to the maze game in order to see what's there instead of checking. It's kind of an interesting routing decision and a lesser gamble there. We'll see if any of our runners do that.
It's so far not much fun. So I'm going to find a hard container in the race game, bit 20 in the library. So now both Sinhi and JTB most likely heading to the South Shore. You got the dam, you got the mini Moldorm cave, you got the ice rod cave. Again, we've only got a couple of options here. I'm feeling like we're gonna find something down here.
Well, early hammer, of course, might point to an early check into the Dark World before too long. We're only a glove upgrade and the Moon Pearl away from being able to go to the Dark World. And we're only 6 minutes into this race, so we could see early Dark World access here before too long.
Yeah, we also did get a map check from Prior. I was only able to see 2 crystals, one at Desert, one at Hera. Did not see what was at Eastern. He went by really quickly there. And we found 50 rupees in the dam chest. So now let's see if we can drain the dam and find out what we find inside.
Dun, dun, dun.
And we have just 300 rupees, but hey, that's Zora money, so we'll go ahead and pick that up.
That's going to put a slight advantage there for Plasma Kappa once he gets there. Doing that Houlihan room strat plus the 300 there will put him over 500. If he does the fake flipper glitch to get up there, he'll be able to be up one step ahead of everyone else at that point.
Yeah, though I think he probably want to at least have Moon Pearl before he goes up there, so he can at least do the water walking trick before he does that. Otherwise, it's only you're going out of your way for one item. Just not seem worth it. All right, JTB first one into the mini Moldorm room. We've got triple bombs, 10 arrows, another 10 arrows, the lamp, and the power glove.
It's so bad. Lamp is a great item. Most of these runners, I know Sinhei and Prior in particular, are probably pretty proficient in dark rooms at this point in time. However, the lamp is great to determine where you can access things logically. Getting that early means you're expected to be able to do those dark rooms, so not going to be needing to avoid anything there.
Absolutely. JTB and Sinhei now both heading over to the back of Escape. Now that they've got that lamp, they have some options there, plus the power glove gives them easy access to it. And plus with that sword, they may reroute the whole escape in if they find the small key here. Let's see what we find. We have 10 arrows, pick 20, and there's that small key, and it looks like JTB is indeed going to make that play.
A little bit of a route divergence here. Prior is actually going straight from the mini Moldorm cave over to the generic ice rod cave. That's going to be a nice different routing. If something significant is here for Prior, he's going to have a little bit of an advantage over the other runners.
Indeed, especially since the ice rod cave is pretty difficult to route in no matter what way you take. Even if you have this quicker items such as the boots and the flute, it's still kind of tricky to go. It's still out of your way to get to this spot. So I always say go here early while you can, because if you don't do it now, you're going to forget till way later. Triple bombs from the back of Escape. And what do we have here in the ice rod cave? Also triple bombs.
I think we're out of bombs together. I mean, this seed is just throwing bombs at us, literally in the crab sense.
All right, so now we're going to start to see some route divergence from JTB and Sinhei. Sinhei looks like he's heading over to Eastern. JTB, since we have the power glove and the lamp, I think he's making his way up to Death Mountain.
Interesting discussion. I mean, you can get guaranteed 2 items and you can see at least a third, but if you don't have at least the mirror or in his case the hook shot either, might not be all that valuable to go up there. Rather the Eastern, which has the 3 items in Sahasrara's chest plus all of the Eastern area. So I think I like Sinhei's routing here more a little bit, but it could play for JTB. We'll see.
Absolutely, we will see indeed. Speaking of Sinhei, he is now in the back of Sir Hustle's closet. We have big 20, 300 rupees, and another big 20. So just basically stole from the Sir Hustle's coffers there.
It's like that wasn't a closet, that was a bank vault right there, I think.
Indeed. Let's see what the old man gives us. Oh, dead rocked. Oh, The unofficial mascot of the randomizer, folks. The biggest trolls you will ever find.
Oh no, and he takes a death from the rocks.
Oh, that's even worse. He didn't even get a chance to drop off the old man. He's going to have to go all the way back up. Oh, actually, no. It actually respawned him back. I did not know that happened.
You know what? It's been so long since I've died with an old man following me. But that, I mean, regardless, it's still not a great play. It's still a bit of a time waster, and I'm sure JTB is going to hear about it a little bit later.
We'll see, but he does get a piece of heart for his trouble, so not quite what he was hoping for. Let's see what he finds in Easter. Oh, those boots! What are those?
First of 3 possible items that you can pick up in Eastern Palace. Great gamble by Sinhei. He's going to be going a whole lot faster than everyone else for a while here.
Indeed, and Pryor now heading into the dungeon area of Escape. This is another spot that they probably could have checked out a lot sooner. Only finds triple bombs so far, but if he finds something big here, that could be a big play.
Here we see Plasma Kappa is going to do the fake flipper glitch. Looks like he's going to check to see what's on the floating island, and then he'll go from there.
Indeed. Let's see what we have here. Oh, the flute! Oh, mirror and flippers required. I mean, we pretty much already assumed that, but now it's indefinite because that's the flute. If Misery Mire is a crystal dungeon, that is a necessity there. We'll have to see what else we find there. Mountain Dew bottle there for Pryor.
Oh no, Plasma Kappa is trying to do this waterfall glitch. Doesn't have the Moon Pearl. This is going to end badly for him.
Yeah, he now realizes, oh wait, I don't have that. So he's just going to go ahead and head up to Zora. So far, Sinhei has not found much else here in Eastern, but let's see what Pryor finds here. He didn't find much. Let's see what we got here. There's the big key, and we have just a 5-bomb upgrade. So dungeon area escape, not necessary.
You still got to think that these runners are going to be heading over there eventually if they start running out of item locations, but not a good location at this point in time. Just a bit of a time waster, unfortunately.
Indeed. Now the question for Plasma Kappa, is it life lesson, love lesson, or worth here as he's about to pay a visit to good old Zora? What's a 500 rupees worth today? Oh, life lesson. It's a scam.
It's the worst kind of life lesson, too. Man, capitalism just isn't paying off today.
All right, looks like Pryor's heading over to Agnes Cave.
Yeah, and he'll be able to go ahead and...
The only big 20 for Sinhei, unfortunately. Plasma now finally making his way over to the back end of Escape. He's not going to find much there, but let's see what Pryor finds in Agnes Cave. This could be a good one.
Keep in mind, Pryor also with that book is going to be able to go ahead and do desert while he's here. He's got his fire source. He has his lift upgrade. So as long as it's not boot locked, he'll be able to go ahead and complete desert while he's here.
Indeed. And even if it is, it won't take him long to get back to it because we know where the boots are and he will have to go there eventually. It looks like our tracker B-Links did confirm that Eastern Palace is a pendant dungeon, so probably won't be seeing that full clear, but we'll at least get all the items out of it. Let's see what happens now as Pryor makes his way into desert.
Sinhei went over and did Ice Rod Cave after he had the boots, so he was able to get a nice, much easier path there.
Saves him a little bit of time there. Definitely not a bad idea. And there's the map. Oh, that means that the key, that means one of the keys has to be on the torch. Therefore, it is boots locked.
Well, I can imagine Sinhei is going to be getting there before too long. Oh, and Sinhei's actually using a water walking glitch other than fake flippers to get down there. So Sinhei able to sequence break a little bit more than Plasma was able to.
Didn't pay off for him, though. Only ended up getting a small shield for his trouble, but nonetheless, not a bad call. And if he can hold on to that water rocking glitch, well, I guess it's only a piece of heart on the ledge, so not a big deal.
Oh, Sinhei took a hit. I think that cancels out the water walking glitch, doesn't it?
Yeah, I believe so. And we also confirmed there's a B-Torp on the desert ledge as Plasma Kappa now heading in there.
JTB with his boots as well. We'll see Pryor heading over and being able to pick up his boots before too long. We'll see JTB looks like he's going to check Bonk Rocks here, so a different item location.
This could be helpful here. All right, and just triple bombs. You know what we haven't found yet, though, Vatasia? There's one item we still haven't accounted for.
And what would that be, sir?
That would be the Moon Pearl.
That's kind of our next big thing, isn't it? And the way the seed is playing out, it makes me feel like it's going to be somewhere here in Desert, simply because of the items that we found. It's boots luck, but we have the boots. You just have to make your way back there.
Yep. But if it's not in Desert, you know what that means, don't you?
I'm trying not to think about it too hard. That would certainly mean that uncle that we saw an early attempt on, but then had a death. Maybe up there.
Well, there is one other possibility, too. When all else fails,
oh no!
Every location, and there's no Moon Pearl, that could mean only one thing, and I think the chat knows what I'm getting at here.
I mean, Aghanim is looking like a strong possibility, but we need either a sword upgrade or the Master Sword at this point in time. So if you get either one of those in Desert, then you start looking pretty hard at required Aghanim seed.
That's true. We'll have to see how this plays out. JTB now activating his own water walking trick there on Lake Hylia. Now he sees that the flute's there. He's probably not happy about that news as he makes his way over to the hobo. Right now, I think our eyes are on Sinhi in terms of whether or not this is going to be Moon Pearl in Desert or Aghanim required, because everyone else is heading to locations we've already seen. And while Desert isn't unknown to us, we've only seen a couple things. We know the big keys on the torch and the maps in the first chest. And more than likely, even with it's going to come down to the two chests on the right side, because if the big key's on the torch and the small key isn't located, it has to be in the big chest.
Desert routing is always so weird, but it's nice to be able to have the boot early and just be like, yeah, we can go ahead and do Desert now if we can knock it out. JTB thought about that same waterfall glitch that he couldn't do.
Yeah, you need the Moon Pearl, and we don't have that yet. All right, here we go. Sinhi's now heading into the big chest here in Desert, which again is going to be the small key. So it's down to the two chests on the right side. If it is the Moon Pearl, then that means Aghanim may not be required after all. However, if it is the Master Sword or Cape, then there is a very strong chance that that is an Aghanim required seed in the making.
Let's get some bets in chat. What do you guys think it'll be? Are we going to find the Moon Pearl, or are we going to find our Aga access? What do we think, Shades?
It's hard to say. Let's find out here. Sinhi opens up. There's the compass. It's down to the vanilla big key chest. All right, what's it going to be? Oh, it's the Ether Medallion! Oh, that is not what they want to see. So now it's down to Land Molus or Death Mountain.
Landmo. I mean, you got to do Landmo here at this point in time. Since he's heading that way, you're already here. The fewer runs up Death Mountain you can do, the better. Yes. I see what chat's saying. It's like, yes, that's our Death Mountain Turtle Rock access. So onwards to Turtle Rock.
Now Pryor catching up as well. He's now making his way through desert. He's going to learn what sin he's already discovered.
Landmo with Fighter Sword isn't going to be fun, but we do have Ice Rod and Hammer. Hammer isn't necessarily fun for Landmo, although I have a lot of fun with Ice Rod Landmo.
Yep, Landmo's one of the few bosses that can be affected by the Ice Rod, so this could be interesting to see how that plays in. Though he doesn't have much magic, so that might not be something very viable, especially since he's going to have to use some magic just to light these lamps. He's not going to have many shots at it. It's going to come down to Fighter Sword, I think.
Yeah, I mean, Ice Rod does the same damage that the Fire Rod does, so just 2 shots per head. But yeah, we're going to be doing Fighter Sword or probably Hammer as well, but he's pulling out the Ice Rod to start.
Don't miss. There's one. He was able to get 1 shot in. And now he's going to rely on Hammer strats. He's got 1 worm down.
This is just a stressful fight to watch. The Hammer is not a terribly great weapon for such a mobile enemy like Landmo was.
Yeah, he's doing the best he can. He's doing pretty good. He hasn't taken much damage here. But again, the very short range of that hammer makes it very hard. But he got it. All right, Landmos, what are you dropping? It's the Moon Pearl!
Jawbreaker of life, ladies and gentlemen. There's our Dark World access.
And you have to believe Sinhi is breathing a sigh of relief right now, knowing he does not have to do Aghanim after all. Because you better believe that was crossing his mind at this point.
As well it should have. Pryor has a whole lot more magic on his Landmo fight. He's using Ice Rod strats. I think he's going to have a much faster time getting through here.
Yeah, that fight was much quicker for him. Now Pryor has his Moon Pearl, and he has the first crystal. So Sinhi now heading down to the South Shore. It looks like he's going to be heading to what I like to call the Prince Cave, because it's the location formerly known as Hype Cave. These later versions of the logic, that tends to be the case. And since this is just open mode, very likely we're not going to find much here. But we'll see. I could be wrong. Oh, let's take a look. Map check here. Green pendant at Pod. Red pendant at Skull Woods. And I didn't see where the other crystal, the other 5-6 crystal was. Let me double check here.
Believe it was Ice Palace, but I could be wrong there.
Ice Palace and Turtle Rock were both our 5-6 crystals.
There we go. You know what? I'm going to go out on a limb. I'm going to say this is going to be a pretty Hype Cave. I feel good about Hype Cave today.
No, not a good start. Piece of heart. Big 20. Another big 20. Hook shot. And piece of heart.
I'll take it.
Not a trash cave. Nah, I'd call that a decent cave.
B+. I'll give it a B+ cave. So the difference here is Pryor is going to use the portal over next to Kakariko Village, while Sinhei went ahead and did check that Hype Cave. I could say that Pryor maybe disillusioned a little bit with Hype Cave, even though it's a high volume location. It's not historically been good, at least in recent memory. Recency bias, though. Sinhei is able to pick up the hook shot, keep his lead a little bit there, while Pryor is going to this other portal.
Yeah, we'll see. Then again, if there's anything good in Skull Woods or Thieves Town, that could pay off for Sinhi or pay off for Pryor. So this may not be a bad call. We'll see. And we find, looks like just an arrow pack there for Sinhi on the pyramid. And it looks like Pryor's going straight to the Village of Outcasts.
That's an interesting decision. I know a lot of people like to do Skullwood since it's right there, and there's only 2 items in there. You can just kind of bop in real quick.
Yep. Only finding a single arrow and a piece of heart there in the chess game, so not much paying off there. Let's see if the Sea House pays off. Well, Sinhi now heading up to Catfish.
JTB releases his good bee in his land bola fight right as Plasma enters Desert for the first time here.
Yeah, Pryor now heading in. Oh, I didn't even realize this. Pryor got flippers out of the Sea House.
Well, hey there.
So Pryor now getting back in the game here. 5 rupees from the Catfish.
Fish just have a really horrible, horrible reputation in this game, don't they?
Yeah. Sad but true. All right, so let's see. Sydney now looks like he's heading up to the Kakariko portal now. While Pryor begins his hunt through Thieves Town, going to go through these first 4 chests. There's the big key. Guaranteed to find that in there first 4 chests. And lastly, he finds the other small key, so that means that the big chest is now available to him since he has the hammer for that as well. So we will be seeing a full clear of Thieves Town, but Fighter's Sword Blind, not going to be fun.
Well, the interesting thing about Blind is it doesn't matter what weapon you hit him with. He'll take 3 hits for every head, so 9 hits total. Butter Sword, Fighter Sword, Cane of Burna, absolutely. It just 9 hits total. So if you have to do something early, Thieves Town is not a bad decision at that point in time.
True. The one advantage you have with higher level swords, though, is that you get an extra pixel or so range on those other swords, which, depending on how good you are, could make the difference. So, plus, you're going in this with green nail and only 6 hearts. You're going to need every advantage you can get.
Sinhei with a little bit easier of a time getting up Death Mountain. He has that hook shot, though, so he'll be able to go ahead and full clear light side Death Mountain. This is a pretty high percentage play at this point in time, too. Being able to hook shot across, get Paradox Cave, you can get, so that's, 5, 6, 7 locations, plus, what's off the Old Man. Plus, he'll be able to go ahead and get up the Tower of Hera. This is a real solid play from Sinhei here.
Absolutely. I don't see any reason not to do this. Big 20 in Spectacle Rock Cave, so not much there. And only a piece of heart on the rock itself. So right now, it's between Pryor and Sinhi to determine which one's making the right gamble here, though. And both of them have been pretty even thus far in terms of what they found. So it's going to come down to what they find next.
Oh, let's not count JTB out of this either. He's first one into Skull Woods, so this is going to be our first look into here as well. And he pulled a Fire Rod.
Fire Rod, nice find. JTB is certainly not out of this race yet, but let's see what the other 2 find here, as they're both going to be heading to item areas pretty soon. We find, Kate and Brian in the Maiden's chest, 5 arrow pack and a red shield for Sinhi.
Hey, I'm all about those Kane and Brian strats on Blind. Perfect timing for that.
Yep, big 20 from the big chest. Now the big moment for Sinhi. What does he find in the Paradox Cave, or as I like to call it, the New Hype Cave, because I've almost always seen good items come out of these out of this section. Let's see if that holds true here today. We have Titan's Mitts, the bow, Quake Medallion. Holy crap! 5 rupees and a big 20, but nonetheless, that is a hype cave if I've ever seen one.
13 out of 10 would hype again. My goodness.
The Titans and the bow alone make that an uber hype cave as Pryor begins his fight with Blind.
So with all that value, where do you go from here? I mean, with the Titan's Mitt, immediately you can go ahead and do Dark Death Mountain while you're over here, probably waiting to route it in after you check out Hera over in this direction.
Indeed, Pryor finishing off Blind gets a mushroom for his trouble, so there's another possibility. Hashtag fetch quest. And JTB now ending in Village of Outcasts, about to pick up his flippers here. And Sinhi going to check out the Ether Tablet. Can't pick up the item, can see what it is. Just couch cash.
I like being able to check those tablets pretty early when you get that. It saves you time than having to go through the animation of casting ether or bombos at that point in time. So, yeah, it's just a nice little thing to do.
Indeed. And think about this for Sinhee right now. He's got the bow, and we found the silver arrows relatively early. That's going to make a lot of the later bosses that we're going to be coming across super easy. I mean, we've got Vitreous coming up later. We've got Helmassar King coming up. Well, actually, no, we might not do Helmassar because that's Green Pendant, but we could still see that. But some of the other bosses, you know, Silver Arrow is going to make that really easy to kill.
Straight up trivial at this point in time.
Indeed. Prior now working on the digging game. As Sinhee now working his way up the Tower of Hera. Found the big key early enough, so he doesn't have to do the basement. Only a piece of heart for the digging game.
And Prior is now going to be doing this south Dark World route. He's going to eventually make his way back up to Hype Cave. But routing in, we're going to check Stumpy here directly.
And only a big 20 for that. Yep, small key there in Tower of Hera. So there's our basement run if need be. There's our Master Sword.
Yeah, I think Sinhei's happy to find that. I mean, Fighter Sword is nice for just swinging around and look pretty, but Fighter Sword or Master Sword gives you that extra reach, a little bit more damage. Still would like to have Tempered Sword, but I'll deal with it.
Yeah, we still got plenty of time to find that. And now it's time for Trolldorm, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, his real name is called Mordorm, but if you played this game before, you know why we call him otherwise. But a very clean fight from Sinhee there. Trolldorm, no trolling today. And it looks like he might still be one item short, so we might be... Well, yeah, I think we might be... If my memory serves, we might be seeing a basement run.
Yeah, I think the Master Sword was the only item that we actually found here, so he might be heading back to that basement. Although, I mean, he's got a lot of other things to do, too.
No, he's actually going to call it quits there. Maybe he found the map and I didn't... Or maybe he already found the other item and didn't realize it.
You see Prior on his way up Death Mountain right now as well. He'll be able to do it. He'll be following in the same footsteps as Sinhei right now.
Yeah, he'll be very happy with what he finds there. Sinhei now working on the Spiral Cave. Thankfully, he's got the boots, so no walk of shame here today. Always nice when you can just rush right through here and not have to worry about anything. Let's see if it pays out for him.
Oh, the cabbages are trolling Prior horribly today.
Ooh, blue mail. Nice find for Sinhei. Now with those Titans bits in play, he's going to check out Dark Death Mountain. That adds up Super Bunny Cave and Hookshot Cave. Plus, we might get some knowledge on what's going on in Turtle Rock, what medallion we need for that. You've already got 2 of them here with both Ether and Quake, so this could be a big find. All right, so let's see what we find here in the Super Bunny Cave for Sinhei. Spy bomb upgrade and a heart container. Could use some more health right now, even with that blue mail, so not bad find. But let's see if the Hookshot Cave, that's the moneymaker.
Hookshot Cave is going to be, I mean, it feels like that's our next progression location if things just keep rolling the way for Sinhei as he's wanted to. But first, quick jump over here to T-Rock. Ether!
Ooh, Sam, all of our runners have Ether, so Turtle Rock is already able to be open. Not really accessible since we don't have the Cane of Samaria yet, but it's only a matter of time before we find it, so we know that's in the route somewhere. All right, let's see what we find here. We've got a 5-bomb upgrade to start things off in Hookshot Cave. And as we progress forward, we find a piece of heart, Bloomerang, and what? Oh no, he's gonna have to go back around.
No, he's going to have to go ahead and... oh, okay, he'll be able to hookshot. I thought he had picked up enough of the pots that he wasn't going to be able to hookshot back around.
No, he only picked up the ones he needed to. And there's the mirror! You called it!
See, I'm great at the routing. If I would be better at the execution, I'd be doing all right in this game running.
Yeah, but and you know what? I won't lie. I had a feeling that was going to be in there. My gut was telling me the mirror was in the hookshot cave. So.
And Sinhei is immediately going to put that to use. What was up on the floating isle? I did not check and see.
I did not see either, but we're about to find out what was up there.
No, we're not.
Oh, actually, I've got the restream up. We'll check. It was just triple bombs.
Okay, so it didn't look like he actually checked it. He was just banking on. Okay.
Yeah, unfortunately.
So Sinhei with the clear advantage right now. Prior also going ahead and climbing up Tower of Hera. We'll see where Sinhei ends up going. Looks like he's going to check the South Grove ledge. Putting that logic to use, following the breadcrumbs. He got the mirror, so he's checking the mirror locations.
Yep. Now, he needs to hurry up and get the flippers out of Village of Outcast, because that will give him immediate access to the flute there in Dark Hylia, which we definitely will need, since Misery Mire is a crystal dungeon, and you need the flute to get access to it. But let's see what we find here in Mirror Cave.
Cave 45, as it's known in the community.
Actually, they've been. I've heard word on the street that they want to stop calling it that. That's why I've been calling it the Mirror Cave.
Oh, okay. Good to know.
Yeah. I mean, just calling it. The only reason it's called Cave 45 is that on the trackers, that's what they labeled it as, because it's ID number 45, I guess, in the system. But it just makes no sense.
I don't blame it. I've been calling it, I think, South Grove Ledge because it's south of the Grove.
But that makes sense too. All right, Sinhei now going to check the Bombos tablet. He does have the Master Sword, so he'll be able to get whatever item is here.
Nice little tea break here for the cutscene, and just a bag upgrade. While we have a bit of lull in the action, I mean, Plasma's fighting blind here. He's doing a solid job here with Fighter Sword going through. Only took 2 hearts of damage. Great job. I do want to give a shout out to our tracker today, B-Links, doing all sorts of work for us. Thank you so much, B-Links. It's not easy to do tracking. Shout out to you, sir. You're doing amazing.
Absolutely. And if you guys are enjoying our runners here, be sure to give JTB, Prior 57, Plasma Kappa, and Sinhei a follow on Twitch. Show your support. And also, we do have Hippos also tracking as well.
Oh, okay. I just didn't see Hippo in our Discord, so Hippo as well. And B-Links is a girl, so ma'am. Sorry.
Oh, my bad.
My fault. Sorry, B. All right, in the meantime, Sinhei coming up south. Looks like he's going to do a Jeremiah check here.
Well, he's got that mirror. Now's the best time to check it. Mod is here. He'll probably also route in Peg Cave.
Might as well. The problem is doing Peg Cave. I can see him after this maybe picking up the purple chest, Gary's lunchbox. The problem is it's going to route him away from that Skull Woods area, which has not only the fire rod, but also the flippers, if I'm correct.
Flippers are in the Sea House in Village of Outcast, but yeah, I definitely think that will take him away from that. And looks like we got a Heartsmith there for Sinhei, getting a heart container from him. And as we thought, Sinhe picking up his purple chest, which means he's probably not going to check much of the village of outcasts, or if he does, he'll be leaving the chest behind. But hopefully at least checks that sea house. Well, he's doing some investigation. He's not completely leaving out the village yet, so he might still pick him up.
Yeah, it looks like you might be doing this. It's kind of interesting routing there. It's not the easiest thing. You have to be conscious of it. But if you can do it, hey, more power to you, Sinhe. You've not made a bad call yet in this run, so I trust you more than me.
Now, Prior following in Sinhe's footsteps, picking up all those locations that Sinhe found earlier. Yeah, to be fair to many of our chat, yeah, like sadly it is true that most, like I would say at least a solid 90% of our community is male. So it is very easy for us to forget that there are females in our group, even though we know many of them very well.
Yeah, that's my fault. I usually do my best to ask everyone's preferred pronouns before the race, and I asked the runners. I did not ask B-Links, who I believe I've commented with B-Links before, so that's even doubly bad on me. So a sincere and heartfelt apology, ma'am. And whatever pronouns people use, we support you. And back to the race, that was a sword upgrade on the bumper ledge.
Indeed, and Prior now working his way into Swamp Palace. Since we have everything we need to check, and not a bad call to make. We'll see if that pays off for him. Oh, already showing some fruit there, getting a blue bottle.
Prior's in Swamp. This is, I mean, it's a logical play at this point in time.
Yeah, like I said, he's got everything he needs to complete it. I don't see why not. To answer question chat, no, we do not know what's on pedestal yet. But being honest, let's see, Pod was for some items that could be on the pedestal. The options are slim. There's really not many required items. I think the only item that could possibly be on the pedestal is the Cane of Samaria.
Let's see. I mean, with Eastern Palace, Pod, and Skullwoods, and honestly, I think we actually have all the items necessary to beat all three of those. At least someone does. So if we go through here, Cane, Cape could totally be on it, technically. We have not had a chance to see what exactly is on blocking Misery Mire yet, so it's possible that the Bombos medallion is our ticket into there, so that could be on the pedestal as well. And then, of course, there's all the fetch quests, Shovel, Powder. I think we know where the Mushroom is already, so there's that.
Prior now is going to skip left side for now, going straight to Argus. And Sinhe made a play to Kingston, only found a big 20 there. Didn't find much, so not much there. Still carrying around that purple chest. It looks like he's finally ready to drop that off. All right, let's see what else we find. There's the compass. There. Wow, compass and map right next to each other. What are the odds of that?
That's nice. I mean, that certainly means left side was something you have to do.
Big 20 from the purple chest, unfortunately, so not much there. Speaking of big 20, another 20 for Prior, so it's down to Argus, and if he doesn't find much there, it's onto the left side.
That was a long purple chest world tour, though, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
JTB with his Moldorm kill also did not fall off, so we've yet to have a real trolley Moldorm yet.
You know you just jinxed it for Plasma, right?
Sorry, Plasma.
All right, so Pryor now working on Argus. Gotta be careful, running a little low on health here, but it looks like he's got it. One good silver shot should do the trick.
And he'll be waiting and go and done.
Dang, nice shot there by Pryor. And he gets just 50 rupees for his troubles, but he gets his next crystal.
So at this point in time, Ice Palace is still out of the question because Pryor does not have the means to actually open it up. We know where the fire rod is. JTB is the only one with the fire rod. He's also the only one to go up to Skull Woods, which is a pendant. So at this point in time, Pryor can get the flute. Like, if he goes and actually explores, we know where the flute is. It's on that Lake Hylia island. But otherwise, not a ton of options here for Pryor.
All right, looks like Pryor now working on the left side. We'll see what he finds here. Looks like JTB is going to go ahead and open up Total Rock.
Nice to see exactly what it is. JTB is making a lot of moves that are, I would go so far as to say, are not conventional, but doing good work so far. In the meanwhile, Pryor is backing back into Swamp Palace in order to get that majestic left side. I think as soon as he found both the map and the compass right next to each other, he kind of sighed to himself a little bit. I'm going to have to come back.
Yeah, pretty much. He kind of accepted that inevitability there. Let's hope it pays off. And he's going to be seeing that same fate as well. It's a piece of heart there on one side. What's on the other? There's the big key.
Big key, oh my god.
It just keeps teasing him.
Meanwhile, JTB and Plasma are both up on Dark Death Mountain, one in Super Bunny. JTB just picking up his mirror, so he'll be happy about that. We'll see him in the same progress as Pryor and Sinhei here directly. And just a heart container in the big treasure chest.
It looks like Swamp Palace complete bust just there for the crystal.
And I'm going to agree with one of our other commentators in the community, Dr. Bob Tastic, who says, hashtag, swamp is always garbage.
He's certainly not wrong in this case. All right, Pryor now going to head into King's Tomb. We already saw Sinhei grab this. I think it was a big 20 in here, if I recall correctly. So not going to find much here. As speaking of Sinhei, he's now working on Argus. And it looks like JTB was going to try to do Spike Cave, but unfortunately could not pull it off. Had to save and quit out.
All right, we see Pryor. Looks like Pryor's making a beeline for that flute.
Yeah, but he's now confirmed that it's there. So, but unfortunately, he needs to go to the Dark World first and get into Dark Lake Hylia in order to get to it, since you have to mirror onto the island to get it.
Yep, he's going to go over here and use this portal just north of the Swamp Palace and head right on over there. I don't necessarily blame him. I think at this point, Pryor is a little bit lost. He doesn't necessarily want to do Eastern Palace or Skull Woods because they're both pendants, although he can clear both of those as well as Pod. He's trying to avoid those and do the pendant dungeons. So I imagine he'll go to Misery Mire almost immediately. Problem is, unless Bombos is in Misery Mire itself, or if Bombos is required to get into Misery Mire, he's going to have to dive into one of these pendant dungeons eventually.
Yeah, absolutely. Plasma Kappa did make his way through Spike Cave, but only found 50 rupees for his troubles, unfortunately. But now Pryor has picked up his flute, pretty much continuing to hold a very small lead. It's not a big one. Sinhe can catch up at any time, but he's got a very small lead going forward here. As long as he keeps going the route he's going, he can hold that lead pretty strong.
Someone pointed out in chat early when JTB picked up that fire rod in Skull Woods. It's like, that's really a pretty trolly location because it's pretty vanilla. And with Skull Woods only having 2 items ever in it, it's just not necessarily a high capacity location. So if you're not going to eventually do that, I mean, not doing it early means you try to avoid it every other time. It's been a long time since JTB picked up that fire rod, and it remains kind of his one item that he has that no one else does.
Indeed, and for Pryor 57, the goose is loose!
Are we going to copyright that at some point in time? I'm just curious. It feels like the randomizer community needs to step up a copyright game here.
Even if I wanted to, I couldn't because I wasn't even the one that came up with it. A member of our chat did that a long time ago. I just stole it from him. All right, Pryor now heading into the Myers Shack. Let's see what he finds in here. Big 20 and 5-arrow upgrade. This is going to be the dry spell until he goes back and gets that fire rod. Again, the only item we're still looking for is the Cane of Samaria, which we're still on the hunt for.
Oh, both JTB and Pryor entering side by side into this checkerboard cave.
Only finding a 5-arrow upgrade, unfortunately. Thank you, Adelantic. Right? Yeah, this isn't Link's Awakening. I'm not supposed to be a thief. Hey, they gave me their blessing. Anyway, Pryor turning in his mushroom now. Both of them turning their mushroom, getting a piece of heart for there. We've got a little sync action almost there. Except JTB diverging slightly to pick up a green potion.
We have some predictions from Dr. Bob here saying Mullet Mansion, also known as the Palace of Darkness, is going to have the Cane of Samaria. It's odd that we have not yet set foot. I don't think anyone has set foot in the Palace of Darkness yet, have we?
No, we have not. No one has touched Pod, and I understand why. It's a brutal dungeon to go through with how hard it is to get to all the good items. I mean, there's a reason Dr. Bob calls it the Mullet Mansion, but if it's there, you're gonna have to see. But we'll find out. JTB now heading into Ice Palace. He's the only one that could potentially go through here. This could be the big play for JTB. This could be his chance to catch up.
It absolutely could be, and here's to hoping. Let's see, Plasma Kappa is also looks like he's going up here to Skull. No, he's not. Why do you do that to me, Plasma?
And I will be right back in just a second.
So, ladies and gentlemen, we are still looking primarily for the Cane of Samaria. If the Cane of Samaria is in this Ice Palace right now, it will certainly benefit JTB, and he's been a little bit, I would say, behind Pryor and Sinhe up to this point in time, but has made up quite a bit of time. He does not have Swamp Palace defeated, but he does have 3 crystals, so he's not that far behind.
Okay,
Max plus pi, yep. Yeah, we have seen East Palace Big Chest.
Yep. So I assume I haven't missed anything yet?
Oh no, you've missed it all. The game's over.
And it looks like Sinhe now going to pay a visit to everyone's favorite little extortionist, Kiki the Monkey, as he is making the play on Pod.
It's about time. It's been a long time since I've seen a Pod check this late. I remember in early versions in the open mode tournament in the fall, it was popular to put it off until you had at least the bow. But anymore. It seems like it's a pretty early check just because of how many treasure chests there are in here. 5 item locations in total in Palace of Darkness, so really kind of dense if you can get to everything.
Yeah, and we got the swag net there starting things off, but as Dr. Bob Tastic said earlier, this is the Mullet Mansion because all the keys tend to be towards the front, and then then finally you can get to the items in the back. So like any good mullet, it's business in the front, party in the back.
Wah, 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 wah. Anyway, another thing to note, interesting, with that first treasure chest being the bug net and not the key, that does technically bow lock the entire pod dungeon. Now, we got bow fairly early on over in Death Mountain, but if anyone had gone to pod first, they would have been locked from the get-go.
And it looks like we have to apologize. Looks like we're having a little bit of technical difficulties. The stream is frozen up on all ends here. But we're still hearing the audio, so we'll try to commentate where we can here.
Yeah, for the chat, the sad trombone sound that I made was actually for Shade's joke, but I guess I broke the stream with it. My fault, guys.
Nicely done, sir. Nicely done. I think they're going to try to refresh the stream here. Give us a second.
So, what do we think, is going to change when we come back? Let's get some predictions because I don't like silence. Let's fill it with stuff. How far in pod are we going to get? Are we going to see some significant value already done?
Hard to say, but now we're finally back up here. JTB on his way to Cold Stare. Didn't see much of what he picked up along the way. I don't know if he found anything of significance. We'll have to keep our eyes peeled for that.
Oh, chat. Oh, chat, I love you sometimes, and I hate you sometimes. This is what I love about you. This is our podcast.
Puns, ladies and gentlemen. We has them. All right, JTB now working on Cold Stare. And shout out to our buddy, our man Feasel, for getting our stream back up as quickly as possible. It's not an easy job for him, folks. Give him some love.
And according to JTB's menu, he did find Kane of Samaria in Ice Palace.
Well, then I have to say, someone call Phantom Ryu, because that's gotta be Kane.
That is absolutely amazing.
Team Hell No complete there for JTB as Sidney now working on the Dark Maze. So, actually, I don't know. Because we confirmed the Ether is the medallion required for Mr. Meyer, I can go ahead and say this. Ladies and gentlemen, if you check your watches, your phones, or whatever timekeeping devices you have here at this time, JTB is officially now in Go Mode.
When you stop and think about it, that's just absolutely amazing. We're at a sub-hour go mode here for this open run, and JTB's just on a tear right now. And the longer that these runners wait to go up to Skull Woods to pick up that fire rod, the longer it's going to be before they go. It does look like Sinhei did pick up his tempered sword somewhere in Palace of Darkness as well. So he's fine on the sword and cutlery right at the moment, but until he gets that fire rod from Skull Woods, it's not going to be much help.
Indeed not, but yeah, that is, this whole time we've been watching Pryor and Sinhei because they've had a pretty good lead, but now the eyes are on GTB, who has taken the lead by hitting go mode, and when he does, meaning he can just blaze through the rest of these dungeons and catch up very quickly, crystal-wise. And even then, he's already got 4 crystals, so he's tied with them. Yeah, he's got the lead.
Yeah, 4 crystals and being able to go through here, especially knowing that he's in go mode, and the other 3, Swamp Palace go mode is just amazing. Misery Mire go mode is pretty quick as well as soon as you find the big key, and then Turtle Rock. I mean, get your keys and then you can skip Laser Bridge. It's not terribly different when you're in go mode.
Yeah, and our tracker or Hippos is pointing out that Pryor is basically sticking to the bias, the meme for version 29 of checking mostly overworld and not really digging into dungeons. And I can see why he doesn't subscribe to it himself, because as we're seeing with Pryor, it's biting him in the butt here.
I mean, when version 29 came out, there were small little tweaks to logic and percentages that were designed and meant to mean that overworld was rebalanced to be equally holding items as in dungeons. Before, there was a slight bias for going into dungeons rather than the overworld, and it was slight, just small percentages. So the rebalance has put a lot of people into checking more overworld locations more, but dungeons still are equally as likely, and you really need to check them.
Yeah, the whole idea is that basically instead of focusing on checking certain spots, go where the items are telling you to go. Don't just check where you think is going to be a hotspot of items. The items it's called a route for a reason. The items are telling you where to go next. Find out what those items are pointing towards and go there. Don't worry about whether it's overworld or dungeon.
I might be a little bit concerned about JTB, though. He is in go mode. I mean, and looking at the items that he has, he might be looking for a sword upgrade, but he did check that first treasure chest in Swamp Palace that you don't need to. Hopefully he is aware and he understands that he is in go mode so he can bypass as much as he can. If he doesn't, if he stops and full clears everything, that will let Pryor and Sinhei catch up.
Very true, but on the other hand, I think he's worried about having to do a Master Sword Ganon even with silvers. And to be fair, that is a challenge. And considering the fact that we know where the other 2 sword upgrades are, unless he decides to check unless he decides to check Pod, he's probably not going to be seeing that cape anytime soon. He may not be getting tempered.
Yeah, that's going to be a problem. He really needs to be go-moding these at this point in time in order to maintain the lead. Although, we don't know when Pryor or Sinhei is going to go to Skull Woods to get that fire rod.
Yeah, even Dr. Bob Tasik points out that he would rather do a tempered silverless as opposed to doing a Master Sword silvered.
Yeah, Master Sword Ganon anytime is just a pain in the tuchus.
For those that don't know, the difference there is not only in terms of health, but with Master Sword, only spin slashes will do any damage to Ganon, regardless of form. Yes, even with silvers, you have to use a spin slash to even damage him in any capacity.
Sinhei looks like he's on his way south from that warp. I was hoping he'd be heading up. Looks like he's going into Thieves Town now.
Necessary dungeon. It is a crystal dungeon, but again, if he had that fire rod, he could be go-moding this right now, or at least close to it.
Well, I mean, Thieves Town go mode is I think in the same sort of category as Turtle Rock go mode. Yeah, you can do it pretty quick and it's a little bit faster, but your real time save is going to come in on things like Ice Palace and on things like Swamp Palace, when you can skip entire sections of the dungeon and don't have to worry about clearing it all out. With dungeons that are kind of as linear as Thieves Town and Turtle Rock, where you're just making your way through them, go mode doesn't save a ton of time comparative.
All right, JTB now working on Argus. Something we should also know is that Sinhei actually did go back and clear Pod. He actually defeated Helmastar King. So we may... Surprised he didn't turn in that green pendant, or did he?
I don't think he did, if I'm right. I honestly don't know.
And he's not the only one, as we see Plasma Cap is also in pod, along with Pryor, as JTB now picking up his crystal there from Swamp. That puts him up to 5. All that's left for him now is Meyer and Turtle Rock. To answer your question in chat, Chisame, yes, JTB does have silvers. All of our runners got silvers because Uncle had them. It's something he got really early on.
You know, that is fitting. You know, in sort of a poetic sense. The first thing that your uncle gives you on his dying deathbed is, you know, something that you used to kill the boss of the game. I like that poetic justice.
Yeah, I think what it is with JTB having, even though he has silvers, they're not showing up, is he needs to select them. You can't switch between regular arrows and silvers, which this day I will. There must be a soft lock reason why that's set up that way. Ooh, and we got ourselves a little bit of a bird toss there. Nicely, thank you, JTB.
JTB, you're the winner in all of our hearts for that bird toss.
Yes.
So still, and I cannot believe we're saying this. I mean, it's been 10 minutes since JTB's been in go mode. He has a solid lead. Granted, it's a lead with Master Sword, so he's not quite as comfortable as I think he wants to be. I never thought the Fire Rod would make that big a difference at this point in time. The fact that people are avoiding Skullwoods is just a little bit mind-blowing to me, if I can be honest.
It's further proof to me that the trolliest thing a randomizer can do is to put an item in its vanilla location. And we are seeing that clear as day with the Fire Rod just throwing our runners off. They are avoiding that Pendant Skull Woods, not knowing that their go mode item, the item they need most, is waiting for them there.
Again, they're counting their items. They're knowing that only 2 item locations in Skullwoods. It's already a pendant, so they're looking at the other denser locations, not thinking that Skullwoods, well, you still might want to do it.
Sinhi now finishing up blind there as well. So that gives him his next crystal. That puts him up to 4. But again, our eyes are strictly on JTB, who has done a very good job skipping a lot of the pendant dungeons, making it making it even easier for him there to get through these dungeons and have a bigger lead, because he did not have to focus on those pendant dungeons, which have done nothing but waste time, as we've seen on Pryor and Sinhi's side, and we are kind of seeing here on Plasma's side.
Oh, is Sinhei doing it? Is he heading that way?
Oh, here we go. And he has finally accepted that there's got to be something here in Skull Woods, and he is going to be very handsomely rewarded for his troubles. The question is, can he take advantage of that, or is it too late?
Meanwhile, Pryor is on his way doing in Eastern Palace. Valid. Okay, there's 1 single arrow is the other item that was in Skull Woods. And Sinhei finally has a Fire Rod.
Not in go mode yet, but he is well on his way. He is out. It's like, that's what I needed. I am out of here. And JTB now is sitting through the worst cutscene in the entire game, because not only do you have to stand there and do nothing like we're seeing with Plasma Kappa over in Pod, but you don't even get to see what's going on.
It's just room shake, room shake, room shake.
Answer question in chat. Canis Mario was located in Ice Palace.
Yep, so while Sinhei and Pryor certainly had the lead prior to that, you know. Anyway, they were certainly doing very well at that point in time, but putting off getting the fire rod for so long, which was their access to Ice Palace, and of course, in turn, their access to get into Turtle Rock, which will be their last dungeon. Just putting that off for so long really put Pryor and Sinhei into a hole there.
Okay, I gotta laugh at poor JTB there. Check the big chest, forgot he didn't have the big key, goes over to the next room, there it is.
Yeah, thanks. Still gonna check that big chest. You gotta think Sinhei or JTB is hoping for some sort of sword upgrade at this point in time. He's got to know he's in go mode and just hoping against all hope.
Plasma Kappa now finishing off Helmastar King. Nicely done. Use of those silver arrows coming into play. But again, it's a waste of time since it is a pendant dungeon, and we now know for certain there is nothing of value on the pedestal. And Pryor finally got to be heading into Skull Woods.
JTB is clearing out and going to be finishing up Misery Mire with his Vitreous fight here directly. Vitreous with silvers. I'm not too worried about JTB at this fight.
Oh, no, it's an absolute joke. Are you kidding me? One shot for each small eyeball and then 2 shots for the big eyeball. If you have silvers and you struggle with Vitreous, quite frankly, you need to practice your rando skill. You need to practice your Zelda skills in general. Even me as a complete noob can handle Vitreous, no problem. Wait a minute. Look what Pryor's doing. We're actually going to get this. Even though we know there's nothing here, let's find out what's actually on the pedestal. It is half magic.
Huh. Okay. I mean, that's nice. He's not going to beat Skull Woods and then go through it there.
JTB, you have silvers. You realize this.
That might be what JTB is looking for, silvers, if he doesn't realize he has them.
Yeah, because he's using Kane strats. Did he? I'm starting to wonder, did he go to Uncle? I could have sworn he did.
I think he did too. I just think he might have forgotten about it.
All right, both Sinhei and Pryor now both going through Ice Palace. They're eventually going to find that red cane. Well, it looks like this is going to give Sinhei and Pryor a chance to catch up here since he's going to be taking his time on Vitreous. Finally gets through, though.
Yeah, I didn't see. He doesn't have silvers. That's... Oh, man, JTB.
That means he's going to have to do Master Sword Silverless Ganon. Ooh. He had a chance to win this, but I think with that's going to be hard.
I'm a little bit flabbergasted here. Like, he picked up the book, but...
Yeah, if he got the book, he checked Uncle. I think he has him. He just doesn't realize he can switch him. There's no way you got the book and didn't check Uncle.
When you toggle, and I was trying to look on his screen, when you toggle back and forth, it didn't look like he was actually, like, you know how you see the Y to let you know that you can switch? Like, I didn't actually see that when he was toggling and the icon was over the bow, so I don't know if he actually does.
Yeah. To answer a question in chat, this is not only a 4-way, There's actually 13 runners running the same seed. We're just showcasing 3 of them. So this is basically, yeah, this is not 2 separate races. This is all one big race.
So Sinhei did defeat Cold Stare. But
I didn't see him pick up the cane.
neither did I.
Uh-oh. Did he miss a chest?
No, he has it on his pause screen. He has it.
He does. Okay. Okay, so he is now in go mode.
So he's on his way over to Misery Mire. We'll open that up and then go up to Turtle Rock. JTB is on his way up to Turtle Rock as well.
Yeah. But the fact that both Pryor and Sinhei have both Tempered Sword and Silvers means that even though JTB has the lead, that long of a Ganon fight could give them enough time to catch up.
Yeah, Master Sword Silverless is not even remotely fun. I mean, if he had silvers, I think it'd be one thing. But that's why he's been checking everything, because he's hoping for at least a sword, if not silvers as well.
Yeah, but we both of us know that the swords he's looking for are in places he's not going to check. One sword upgrade is sitting on the bumper cave, which means he can't get to it because he doesn't have the cape. And the other one is in pod, which he's not going for because it's a pendant dungeon and he's in go mode. And what is Plasma Kappa doing in Mire? He doesn't have the cane. He doesn't even have the fire rod. So
he's dipping and hoping at this point in time. He's trying to get a crystal dungeon to point him into a direction, hoping that he can avoid the Pendant Skull Woods. Oh, that's not good for Plasma Kappa.
Yeah, he is in trouble.
I mean, we do have a heck of a race going on here between these. Pryor and Sinhei are just right there neck and neck. They do have both Tempered Sword and Silvers there. They've had to do a little bit more with them. Sinhei a little bit of a lead on Pryor. They are both in go mode. JTB is also in go mode with a full dungeon lead. But a full dungeon lead when you have to do Silverless Master Sword Ganon, when the people right behind you have both Tempered Sword and Silvers, I don't know if that's much of a lead at all.
Absolutely not. And that's not even counting all the runners we're not seeing. I mean, we've got guys like Gamer Cow who are also in this race who we aren't watching right now. They could be even further. They could be in the lead with Tempered and Silvers. Who knows? This could be anyone's race right now. And we can confirm, Adirondack Rick went back and checked. Yeah, apparently he got the book out of the chest in the Uncle spot, but did not go to Uncle himself, not realizing the value Uncle actually had.
You know, that hurts, but I can honestly say that, you know, the more seeds you play, I think, you know, you end up making, I would say, silly mistakes and mental errors like that. But once you make those mistakes and then you see that you make those mistakes, it never happens to you again.
At least you hope not.
The people who are the best runners, you know, the Bens and the Christos Owens and the Pryors who has done, and Sinheis who have done amazing in the races, and everyone who's at the top of the game that we all know and respect and follow in this community. I'm going to go out on a limb and say that they have all made similarly silly mistakes at some point in their Zelda playing careers. And that's fine. The people who win make the most mistakes. They just play a lot to balance that out so that they are awesome by the end of it. Anyone can make a mistake. So you just have to get over it and go on to the next race and do better next time.
Exactly. It doesn't matter how good of a runner you are. You could do this race 100 times and still forget that one thing that throws you off every time. I've seen it so many times. It's not even funny. JTB finds the big key in its vanilla location. Is this even randomized?
What?
Also, we can confirm we've had our first forfeit. Saberwolf044 has forfeited from the race, unfortunately.
I'm going to go out on a limb. There's going to be a lot of people, I think, who did exactly what these runners did and put off Skull Woods because it was a pendant. And ladies and gentlemen, if there's one thing I've learned in my randomizer career, always check Skull Woods. Just always do it.
I would just say never count out pendant dungeons entirely, because you never know when one of them might have the item. Unless you know for sure there's nothing there, always consider checking it.
So Plasma Kappa has to back out because it does not have the cane yet.
And unfortunately, he is completely missing the location he needs to go to. Not going to Skull Woods, not realizing that that's where he needs to go.
Sinhei is on his way up to do Turtle Rock. Meanwhile, JTB is slowly making his way through Turtle Rock.
Yeah, also Saberwolf in the chat asking where were the flippers? They were in the Sea House, dude. They were in Village of Outcast.
Oh, flippers. I mean, it's amazing. Everyone at some point misses something. So you don't have to feel bad about anything. Hold your head high, sir.
All right, looks like we're going to get a laser bridge play here from JTB since he does not have any keys left. He needs to find the one small key. There it is.
And he's still going to be checking, hoping for silvers or a sword. Not going to find it. There's Bombos, by the way.
A little late for that. Oh no, Saberwolf blind pulled the pedestal.
Oh man.
Yeah, Saberwolf, if it's any consolation, you're the only one who made a very critical error. JTB did not go to Uncle. He got the book out of the chest, but didn't go up to Uncle himself and missed out on the silvers.
Oh, and here's Plasma finally doing what we're all begging him to do for the entire time.
Meanwhile, Pryor and Sinhei both starting their plays into Turtle Rock. They are right on JTB's heels. And it's about a dungeon's difference, but that is more than enough time considering it's going to be Master Sword Silverless Ganon for them to catch up. Whereas they have tempered and silvers to quickly catch up.
Yeah, I mean, JTB is kind of, if you're looking at it only linearly, he's definitely in the lead. But when you start looking at everything that he's going to have to do, man, I got to give the edge to Sinhei at this point in time.
Yeah, and even then, one mistake on Sinhei's part and Pryor could take that lead. It is very close. It is anybody's race.
Absolutely. Again, there's still many other racers in this daily as well, so no one's out of it yet. Oh, and Trinex making a mess on the floor. Bad Trinex. Bad dog.
Yeah, unfortunately, JTB having a little bit of trouble there since with only Master Sword, he's wasting a lot of magic. Uh-oh, this is his last chance. He got lucky. He got lucky. That was clutch. He almost ran out of magic fighting Trinex.
Yep, he's still going to have to deal with that ice patch on the floor against Trinex, and Trinex is persistent, especially if he knocks you into that ice patch or the spikes, but gets it done.
Yeah, but how long that took, that's just going to buy Sinhe and Pryor more time to catch up. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, JTP is now on his way to Ganon's Tower. You know the drill. There are 22 possible locations inside of Ganon's Tower where the big key could be hiding. I want you to get your guesses in chat. Give me a number between 1 and 22 where you think that big key is. It's been a while since I've been able to do that. Vitasia, where do you think that key is going to be?
You know what? I'm feeling extra trolly today. We're going to do the tile room. Wonderful chest number 22.
Ooh.
How about you, Mr. The Shades? Where are you going to have that prediction?
I'm going to play it safe. I'm not going to go for the exact chest because I get screwed over every time I do that, but I'm going to say Ice Armos room.
That's fair. That's fair. All right, we'll be double checking things here directly. Just to give a quick update, both Pryor 57 and Sinhe neck and neck in Turtle Rock. JTB is on his way over to Ganon's Tower immediately. Meanwhile, Plasma Kappa is in Ice Palace, which is where he will need to be.
And once again, it looks like we're having a little bit of an issue there. We're refreshing our streams real quick. Again, shout out to Feasible getting this worked on as quickly as possible. We'll be back up here in just a moment.
A reminder, while we're here, Legend of Zelda, Link to the Past Randomizer, we are getting ready to gear up for our big spring standard randomizer tournament. If you haven't already entered, there's not much time left. We went through and we use Challenge to organize our races in our randomizer tournament. We had to upgrade everything. We are currently at, ladies and gentlemen, 512 players for the spring standard randomizer tournament. That means there are only 2 spots left. 2 spots. If you have not yet signed up, it just capped. I just refreshed it.
Yeah, and
and
I just double checked. I confirmed now. Location number 5. It was actually in the 4 chests. It was bottom right chest above the hookshot room. That was where the big key was hiding.
Oh my, 512 people.
That is insane. That is how big the randomizer community has gotten, that we have had a tournament that huge.
You know what? And that is a testament to all the work that Feasel and Btor, the programmers who do all the work for us on the back end, the community managers, Adirondack Rick, Willard J. Bradley, Sakura Tsubasa, all the community managers, everyone who does everything on the back ends, who makes this community what it is, all of the other commentators, the race streamers, the trackers, everyone who does everything for this randomizer community, that is a testament to all of you guys. So we have grown at a lightning pace, and we would not be able to do so without all the hard work of everyone behind the scenes. So tip of the hat to all of you guys. That's just amazing. I mean, it's breathtaking, really. I'm so happy to be a part of this community. And if you're in chat, you should be a part of this community too. Come join us over on Discord.
Yep, we have a Discord channel for the tournaments and for speed gaming and for the randomizer in general. So if you're interested in joining up, do so. Back to the race now. Sinhe looks like just finished up finished up Turtle Rock. He is on his way to Ganon's Tower. Pryor is right behind him, finishing working on Trinex as we speak. And JTB is working his way up the gauntlet right now. This race is getting intense, folks. It is going to come down to the wire, I think.
It's going to be close. JTB has a nice solid lead, but again, as we were talking about, no silvers, Master Sword. JTB, I think, is certainly capable of it, but it's going to be rough. There's no two ways about it there.
Oh, wait a minute. I was mistaken. He just found the big key. It was actually on the right side. The only reason JTB went left side is to get a small key, but the big key was actually on the right side, literally chest number 2.
What? Okay. That's nuts. All right, so Sinhei is starting to climb his gauntlet. Pryor is just now entering GT. JTB is almost done with the gauntlet, and Plasma Kappa is going to still finish up Misery Mire here.
Yeah, this race is coming down to the wire here. Again, this is anybody's race. We still have not seen any winners, any duns in the SRL channel. So we are still waiting for that. But JTB desperately trying to find anything. And okay, he's got enough keys. Never mind. He's good.
Yeah, he'll be fine. All right, so JTB is getting ready to start his Moldorm 2 fight. Still hoping for something there in these last few treasure chests.
Yeah, he's definitely, I guarantee you he's gonna check the inevitable conclusion chest here to see what if he can find anything. Why are you throwing bombs at the chest? And only a big 20. Now he realizes, oh God, I have to do Master Sword Silverless. God help me.
It happens. It's a thing. But to your point, JTB probably is starting this Aga fight and realizing there's not a dot done yet. And he might think that everyone else has done the same thing and has to do the same thing. I don't think he realizes just exactly what has happened yet.
No, but he's having a pretty good Aga 2 fight. Already gotten a couple of good doubles there. He can finish this up quickly. Oh, never mind. That one just kind of trolled him. Nicely done. 2202, down goes Agadam 2, and now it's time for the Big Pig.
We're about to see JTB do what is basically the most difficult fight you can possibly imagine in this particular game. Ganon, Master Sword Silverless. This is going to be a treat. We'll see. Sinhei is getting ready. He's approaching the Moldorm 2 fight, but Sinhei is much better equipped at this point in time. He's got both Tempered Sword and Silvers, so he'll be in much better shape.
It's going to come down to the wire.
We'll see if Ganon cooperates. If he backs up himself up against the wall, we'll be able to get several spins off in a row. Ganon throwing that trident hard.
Yep. And let's bear in mind the extra difficulty here, because of how spin slashes work, it can knock you around. In that last phase, he has to be extra careful not to fall off the ledge, which is very easy to do when you're using Master Sword strats.
All right, Sinhei starting his Aga 2 fight. JTB on Ganon, Pryor on Muldorm 2. Plasma is opening up his Turtle Rock run.
I gotta admit, I was expecting one of our runners to be way behind, and while Plasma is a decent, at least a full dungeon behind, he is not as far behind as I thought he might be, given how his run has been so far.
Oh, JTB took a Ganon hug. That was close.
Yep, and Sinhei now working on, he is now on his way. Oh, this race just got intense. It is now down to the wire.
Still no dot duns for any runner at this point. Oh no, JTB. 2 hearts left.
That's how difficult this fight is when you're Master Sword. I hate to say it, I think Sydney's gonna snipe this one from him.
I think you're right, but it's not over till the fat lady sings.
Oh, that's it! Game over!
Sinhei is already on his way. He's doing the single slashes quite effectively.
Yeah, and JTB now is gonna have to find some other way. He's going to stock up on potions while Sinhei is quickly catching up, and Pryor is right on Sinhei's heels. It is down to Sinhei and Pryor. Which one will steal this one?
Still no dot done in SRL, and Sinhei moves on to phase 3.
Sinhei very well could be our #1 runner right now. And Pryor, literally right behind him, could be our #2. Very nice setup there for Pryor.
All right, so we move on to 4. Did you find the arrows in Hyrule Castle?
Oh, I guarantee when JTB sees that, he's going to lose it.
Hyrule Castle, where? What do you mean?
What? No! Yeah, and it's oh, Sinhei's almost got it. Just a couple more shots to go. And we got bacon!
GG, Sinhei will be able to give his official time, but Sinhei does come in first place with Pryor right behind him with that death here directly.
All right, so Sinhei finishes in first place with an official SRL time of 1 hour, 37 minutes, and 46 seconds. And it looks like by the time Pryor 57 is going to finish right behind him in second place with a time of 1:38.07. And we can also confirm Alus 24 finished in third place with 1:38.11.
Man, so Pryor finished just 4 seconds ahead of Illis 24. Remember, if it's within 3 seconds in a tournament setting, that's considered a tie, and you have to re-race.
And Cindy now joining us here in the channel. Cindy, congratulations on your win.
Yeah, hey, thank you.
So, would you be surprised to find out that you weren't the first person in the Ganon fight?
Actually, no. I was thinking I was rather the second or the third person in the Ganon fight. By the time I expect people to finish by now, so...
Well, here's the thing. JTB, who we're watching right now on his second attempt at Ganon, was the first one there, but he missed the silvers and Uncle. He left after getting the book and never got the silver, so he's doing Master Sword Silverless Ganon right now.
Oh my goodness. That's just evil.
Yes.
I'm so glad that I have found the silvers. I was Master Sword for a long time. I was prepared to do Master Sword Ganon as well, but then luckily, due to my odd routing, I like to say, I found the Temper Sword along the way. which was pretty nice. Unfortunately, Swamp and Pot a huge bust in this seat.
Yeah,
But,
that was
I mean,
unfortunate. Pryor now joining us here as well. GG, Pryor.
Thanks, hello.
Yeah, GG, Briar.
GG, man.
So Pryor, how you feeling after this race?
I feel bad. I think I was the last to get the boots. Am I wrong?
No, I think Plasma Kappa was actually a little further behind on that regard, if I recall correctly. I know there was a couple of people that were behind on boots. But what was actually funny is that even though you guys were the second and third people to get to Ganon, the guy who was there first, JTB, as we were just telling, said, hey, JTB is in here doing Master Sword Silverless right now. He missed the Silvers and Uncle.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, and the nice thing is that you guys both did, I mean, both of you ended up going to Pod and full clearing that out, and that had the Tempered Sword. So we knew where all four of the swords were. And poor JTB, I mean, as great as his routing was, I mean, he got all the items necessary, and he came from way far behind, I think, with some good routing. Not having Tempered Sword, not having the Silvers really kind of put him at a disadvantage there at the very end of that race.
Yeah, I think he was in go mode, I think a solid 5 minutes ahead of you guys, because he had already had the Fire Rod very early on.
Yeah, the Fire Rod was also a thing I expected somewhere else. That's the only reason I didn't go to Skullbones immediately once I had Dark World access. I was kind of hoping it was in Swamp or Pot, but oh well.
But yeah, it's like we've always said, the trolliest thing a randomizer can do is to put an item in its vanilla location. It sure as heck trolled you guys today.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I did Eastern even before getting into Skullwoods. So yeah, when it comes to get the right choice, I'm not a good man.
Same.
Yeah. Pryor, you actually checked the pedestal, if I recall correctly, finding it was half magic in there. That must have been a sigh of relief for you.
Yes.
And apparently, according to one of our runners who forfeited Saberwolf, he had actually blindfolded it, so don't feel too bad. Oh, poor JTB takes his third death again, and he is just having no luck.
I mean, after all, the Pot check paid off a little bit.
Do what you can, I guess. Take what you can get at that point in time, knowing that, well, okay, at least I had the Tempered Sword out of that, because I don't think we ever found where the cape was, where that fourth sword was. So, yeah.
Yeah, I was kind of thinking that the green pendant would lead to something at Sahashala. So that's the only reason I actually went in the pot. Also, the flute was kind of surprising since I didn't check that before. I just checked it by chance because I intended to go to pot after Swamp.
All right, Plasma Kappa now finally getting his last crystal out of Turtle Rock. He's on his way to Ganon's Tower. I almost don't want to say this, but it would be really bad for JTB if Plasma Kappa actually finishes Ganon's Tower and defeats Ganon before JTB can finally finish him off. This Plasma Kappa is going in as equipped as you guys are, Tempered Sword and Silvers. So there is, if JTB cannot make up this difference, cannot get Ganon with this setup, there is a slim chance Plasma Kappa could turn around and just blow past him here. Oh, and JTB takes another death to Ganon. Oh, that's painful to watch.
So to ask Sidney and Pryor 57, of course, not just about the seed, but about the future, just confirming, are you both signed up for the spring standard tournament?
Oh yes, I definitely am. And I'm looking forward to it. With the huge amount of participants we have right now.
Well, while the stream was going on, we actually hit 512. We are now officially maxed out while the stream was going on.
Wow, nice. So a lot of competition there. Ooh, the Swiss is gonna be fun.
That's an understatement.
Well, less chances to run into someone who is superior to you.
You say that, and I know you're gonna
Yeah, and
you're like gonna get matched up with me the first round, and I'm gonna be like, oh, dang it.
No, I'm more afraid that I'm going to have to go up against someone like Andy or Christoph in the first round.
That's what I was gonna say. You know, you just jinxed yourself, right?
Yeah, I know, but I'm prepared to take everything I get.
Oh, but yeah, I mean, this entire scene really came down to, when did you guys go to Skull Woods? And it seems like everyone seemed to put it off. I mean, JTB was actually in go mode sub 1 hour. It was like 58 minutes being in go mode, just because got the fire rod, didn't necessarily clear out anything. He had almost perfect routing, went to Ice Palace, got the Cane of Samaria, and we're like, oh, it's go mode. It's time to do it. And yeah, and the next hour is now being spent on Ganon.
Oh, that's really unfortunate. I don't know, somehow with version 29 I think the Death Mountain waits a lot. Ever since version 29. But it had so much good stuff in this scene as well. There was, I think the mids were over there, the bow were over there, Aether. And it came back to
like
one of the previous seeds as well, because the hammer was up there.
I call Paradox Cave the new hype cave because more often than not, it usually tends to have the mother load, and this scene was no exception to that. Titan Spits, Bow, and Quake all in one location, even though Quake wasn't necessary.
Yeah, I can't remember. That was Aether, right? I found it along the way, I think.
No, Aether was somewhere else. It was Quake on Paradox Cave. But then also, you had Hookshot Cave, which had the mirror, which just opened everything up, because then you got the flute from the Lick Highly Island after getting the flippers from the Sea House. Just so many good items up there on Death Mountain.
And hey, we're going to go ahead and also give a shout out to not only Illis, but Gamer Cow also finished in 4th place with 1 hour, 40 minutes, 44 seconds. Giving shout outs to the people who are participating in the race, maybe not getting restreamed, but still showed some respectable times here today. This was kind of a pretty quick seed, I thought, all things considered.
Ooh, nice use of the silvers there for Plasma Kappa, taking out Landmo too. Very quickly there. He's working his way up quick. Oh, and JTB takes yet another death to Ganon. He is just having no luck.
So, prior 57, Sinhead, do you guys have any other thoughts about this seed as you're going through it? I mean, it went pretty quick as soon as you ended up finding the right breadcrumb to follow, but any final thoughts on it?
Yeah, I was surprised nobody finished earlier because of the fire rod placement. So I thought someone would kill the seed and finished like 20 minutes earlier, but that wasn't the case.
Yeah, there's no doubt you guys lucked out on that one there. But you guys, it's not like you guys had bad routing overall. I mean, checking Skull Woods, considering there's a pendant dungeon with only 2 items in it, it's understandable why you guys skipped it for as long as you did. But you guys got so many good items along the way that it didn't hurt you that bad until when it was time to catch up. All right, Plasma Kappa now finishing off Moldorm 2. He is right on JTB's heels.
In the meantime, thank you so much, Prior 57 Sinhei. If you guys liked what these runners gave to you, go ahead and give them a follow here on Twitch. It's the easiest way to support the runners directly. Of course, also give us a like and a follow here on your Speed Gaming Network, Speed Gaming Original 2, 3, 4, Randomizer Mania 1, 2, 3, 4, ALTTP Randomizer 1, 2, 3, 4. My goodness, that's crazy. I'm running out of Running out of channels here.
And actually, considering that how many races we're going to have for this upcoming tournament, I wouldn't be surprised if we activated the new channels that we've got, because we actually do have Speed Gaming 5 through 8. And I would not be surprised if we put those to use. I don't know for sure, but I would not be shocked.
The Ocho.
Speed Gaming 8, the Ocho. And now Plasma Kappa is on his way to Ganon. Could he potentially steal this from under JTB's nose after all this time JTB's been desperately trying to beat Ganon?
I love the insect facts, by the way. I love it. JTB finally moving on to phase 3. I think he's incredibly happy about this.
Yeah, and if he still can't beat him after this, he at least now knows that the silvers aren't hard to find. And we can confirm that Gus is finished in 5th place with an official time of 1:50.41.
Oh, the lag from Plasma Kappa.
Ooh. And now JTB learns the painful truth of the Silver Arrows being in Hyrule Castle, which should probably tell him where he's supposed to be.
Meanwhile, Plasma Kappa is also on phase 3. Yeah, I think you're right. I think Plasma Kappa might snipe this from JTB. This is, oh my goodness. JTB was the first runner that we saw that entered Ganon's room, and very well may be the last one to get the kill.
That is painful. I almost feel bad for him. I really do, because to be so close to have first place and then it's like playing Mario Kart where you're right at the finish line and you just keep getting hit with blue shells and red shells, and then everyone just passes you by. Which I actually have seen happen.
Yeah, people are wondering about, is he going to have enough space for enough magic to be able to get through this? It's a question. He's doing reasonably well. Plasma Kappa gets the kill.
Oh, so Plasma has sniped him. That is it. Plasma Kappa gets his bacon and steals victory from the jaws of defeat, taking him out. He's going to enter the room. And he's going to finish with an official SRL time of 1 hour, 52 minutes, and 22 seconds. Oh, you feel bad for JTB. He had that in the palm of his hand, and it got stolen from him.
Yeah, Master Sword Silverless is about the least fun thing on the face of the planet, and JTB is highlighting exactly why.
And Plasma Kappa now joining us here in the channel. Kappa, GG, my friend.
GG.
Now, I want to set the scene for it because I don't think you realize what just happened here. You were the last person to get into Ganon, but the first person to get into Ganon, JTB, is still fighting him after at least a good solid 10 to 15 minutes because he's having to do Master Sword serverless Ganon.
Oh dear.
Yeah. That is how big a race this ended up being, is that everyone else got to Ganon after him, but they all finished before him. So, but besides that, how you feeling after this race?
Thought this was supposed to be the overworld patch. Can we move Fire Rod to Zora?
I mean, you're not wrong, but that just because there's an increased likelihood doesn't necessarily discount dungeons. And yeah, that Fire Rod, I think, trolled literally everyone, because JTB was the only one to really dive Skull Woods. Everyone else put it off. You were right there with Pryor and Sinhei for a lot of it. It's just figuring out when you're going to get that Fire Rod that led to Ice Palace access that led to the cane. That was the breadcrumb.
Yep. And well, obviously dungeons still have values, but since Overworld is a meme now, I have to play to the meme if I want to beat the good players.
Yeah, with the are you signed up for the spring tournament?
Oh yeah, I haven't done one yet.
Shit, but hey, you know what? Even if you don't win, the fact you got a lot of good competition here. You got a good chance to practice, and JTB has finally done it. He has finally done it. JTB finally finishing in 7th place with an official time of 1 hour 55 minutes even.
Oh man,
And
that's winner chicken dinner there for JTB.
he is feeling it right now. Oh boy, we had a lot to ask you guys, but my God, are we gonna have some questions for JTB when he gets in here? What a race from all of our runners here. Again, be sure to give all of our runners, JTB, Prior 57, Plasma Kappa, and Sinhi, a follow on Twitch. They deserve it after a race like this.
Yep, absolutely. GG, JTB. That's, we'll get to talking to him, but what persistence there for JTB to go in and do Master Sword Silverless, which isn't a fun fight at any capacity.
Oh no, absolutely not.
All right, there he is. Let me bring. Oh, there we go. And JTB now joining us here in the channel. GG, my friend.
Oh God.
So let's have a talk here, JTB.
Let's have a talk about this seed. Not just
So-
about this seed. Let's talk about how the seed ended.
No, well, I don't want to talk about how this seed ended. I want to talk about how this seed started, actually.
Oh.
So did you happen to see what Ganon told you where the silvers were?
Yep. And I cannot believe what was it in Zelda's jail or what?
Uncle.
You picked up the book from that chest, and you
And I just
figured that's all there was, and you left them behind.
He's dead. What can he
my
have?
God. That's a life lesson right there. I didn't even think about it either. I'm like, I guess I'm so used to just going through standard and just not even thinking about Uncle from that side that it just completely slipped my mind.
Yeah, and
Well, that
and
would
I
make
hate
it a lot
I hate to
faster.
make it worse for you, but I have to tell you, you were not only the first runner to hit go mode in this sub hour, but you were the first one into Ganon. That's,
Yeah, I was watching the IRC and then I just knew like people were probably struggling a bit. And then as soon as I saw that first dot done, like into my third attempt, I was like, oh man, I could have won this.
yeah.
Well,
and-
I think the worst part of it, I mean, your routing was absolutely spot on. You went through everything great. Master Sword was not fun. Everyone else picked up Tempered Sword in Palace of Darkness, which you didn't even have to step foot in. But you had Fire Rod for a good 30 minutes before anyone else. So you were just flying through everything. And it just got to the point where Sinhei, who was in first place, was about a half dungeon behind you. And then Ganon happened.
Yeah, that's I don't think I've done Master Sword Silverless Ganon since I first started playing Rando back in September of last year. So it's a good wake up call for what I need to do before the tourney starts.
Absolutely. Again, like if you had, even with Master Sword, if you had at least gotten the silvers, your routing was so spot on, you would have just blazed past the competition. It's just that one minor mistake that you made that cost you this race.
Well, I would say the Master Sword Ganon. Multitude of minor mistakes cost it more so. Because I think I would have killed him even if I didn't have silver. Like if I did it my first try, I still would have got first, right?
No, actually, I think. Well, I mean, it was getting close. Sinhei, I mean, you hit phase 2 kind of right there at the same time that Sinhei was starting the Ganon fight. So honestly, I think Sinhei would have actually passed you up in the Ganon fight.
For sure.
Just because of the spins that you had to do. So I don't necessarily want to put it entirely on your Ganon execution, but you were right there though.
No, you're
for
right.
sure.
I would have definitely got like 4th or maybe even 5th because I saw Gamer Cal ended right after that too. All right, then put sticky note on my desk that says Master Sword, Silverless Ganon, and Uncle.
I think Uncle's the takeaway at that point in time.
Yeah, Uncle's.
Still, the fact that you persisted and managed to actually finish him off, and you still have people ahead, that you got ahead of. Like you're not dead last, so you obviously didn't do that bad. So don't shame yourself, man. That was a heck of a fight. You did a lot better than I would have done. That's for sure.
Yeah, that was just a really difficult seed in general. Just low hearts, no half. Well, at least for my end, no half magic. Green tunic a lot of the time, and then Master Sword too. It's kind of really difficult.
Speaking of half magic, that was actually the pedestal. Prior checked it, and someone else blind pulled it. It was half magic on the pedestal.
No, I've never grabbed
neat.
that then.
But still, again, fantastic job from all 4 of you guys. The fact that you're able to finish as quickly as you guys did. I mean, you still managed to sub 2 hour. That should say a lot.
That's good.
Again, nothing but praise.
Yep.
But anyway, GG to all 4 of you guys. Congratulations, Sydney, for your win. And hope to see you guys. We'll look forward to seeing you guys, all 4 of you, in the tournament. It's going to be an amazing. With runners like you guys, I expect the tournament to be absolutely amazing to watch.
Cool. Thanks for doing commentary, and thanks for the track. I don't know who's the tracker.
Oh, we had 2 trackers. We had B-Links and we had Hippos tracking with us today.
Well, thanks to Hippos and B-Links for tracking. I believe Fiesel's probably restreaming then, right?
Oh, absolutely. And he did a fantastic job. Though we had a couple of technical difficulties here and there, we still managed to get he managed to keep things going strong like he does, because it's Fiesel. He is the man. So big thanks to him. Big thanks to you guys. Make sure you give all 4 of our runners, like I said, JTB, Plasma Kappa, Prior 57, Sinhi. Give them all a follow on Twitch. Shout out to B-Links and Hippos for tracking. And of course, myself and my co-commentator, Vitasia. Vitasia, always a pleasure working with you, sir.
Oh, as well as with you, Shades. I love the 2 of us getting together, the 2 hype men in the community. Love it.
Indeed. Make sure you guys also follow all of our channels, Speed Gaming 1 through 4, possibly even 5 through 8. We'll see, maybe. But at the very least, we'll also have ALTTP Randomizer 1 through 4, Randomania 1 through 4, for all of the tournaments and more. Make sure you give all of those a follow. In the meantime, on behalf of everyone here in the Speed Gaming family, my name is The Shades, and as I always like to say, rock on, guys!
Rock on.
Yeah,
On
that's most
rock.
Good job.